G'day and welcome to another episode of Cuppa with Corlette. I had someone write in to ask what sort of tea do I use, and I use the Bushels one with 1 sugar, and the mug I'm using today is green, and it says on it, if you need me, I'll be in the garden pretending I can't hear anything. Thanks for joining me today, so sit back, relax and enjoy the episode, and we'll get straight into it with the week that was. Des and I were walking along the park near the beach on Saturday morning, and there were about 6 pelicans on the sandbar. And we turned the corner and there was this table set up with all this food on it, and there was this art of balloons and flowers and fairy lights. And I said to Des, oh, look, I think there's a wedding. And then this young girl came up to us and she said, would you mind sitting in the audience because we're filming this gender reveal for our social medias? And we had no idea what she was talking about, but we sat down anyway. And I said to Des, gender reveal, I don't like the sound of this. I think they're going to hold up a poor baby like Simba in front of all these people and take its nappy off. And Des says, no, I don't think it's anything like that. I said, what else would a gender reveal mean? Anyway, so the young couple, they cut this cake. And then all of a sudden, these huge cannons went off and scared the bejesus out of me. And then all these streamers and pink powder went everywhere, in our eyes, in our hair, all over Des's good shirt. They zoomed in on my face because I was crying, but that was because of the powder. We had no idea what was going on. Anyone started cheering, so we started cheering. We hung around for a bit longer. We just had a mini quiche or two, and we just slowly pulled away and continued on with our walk. On Tuesday, Des went and borrowed next door's trailer again to pick up the spiral staircase he found on Gumtree. And I said to Des, I said, what are you going to do with the staircase? And he said, well, now that he's getting older, it would be good to get up on the roof. And I said, well, how often are you going to need to do that? But now that he's got the satellite dish up there, he'll go up the stairs to just the dish for reception. I just have to let it go. On Wednesday, Des and I took a trip to Pacific Fair Shopping Centre. For those who haven't been, Pacific Fair is on the Gold Coast and it's huge. Des wanted to look at the good guys and I needed a few bits and bobs, so off we went. Now, at some point, I needed to use the facility. The facilities at Pacific Fair are down a corridor, then you left, then another corridor, then right, then through a bit that feels like a different building entirely. But I kept following the signs, but when I came out, I turned right instead of left. Now, I want to say in my defence that the corridor looked exactly the same in both directions. So I walked for a bit and I pushed through these big plastic flap doors, and I found myself on a loading dock with a large truck sitting there, and its driver was standing there and he was holding out a clipboard for me to sign. Now, I think what had happened was I was wearing my red vest at the time. I think he thought I was a Coles employee, so I signed the form. I don't know why I signed it. I think I panicked. I think I thought that I might get arrested for some security breach for being there. Anyway, I thought that was the end of it. But because I had signed the form, the truck driver opened the back of the truck for me to unload. There are all these pallets of fresh produce like watermelons, potatoes and cabbages. And I had no option but to unload the pallets. It took me about 45 minutes once I worked out how to use the jack trolley. God, it was hard work. I was sweating like a pig. I went back through another set of doors into the actual Coles, the shopping part, and I needed to get out without looking like I'd just come from the back dock. So I picked up some custard and went through the self-checkout. What a palaver that was. I have since tried to look up whether signing a delivery docket for a shop you don't work for has any legal implications, and I can't seem to find anything. So if anyone knows, write into me. But I think it's just safe to say we're not going back to Pacific Fair anytime soon. Now, on Thursday night, I went to Sip and Paint with the girls. For those that are unfamiliar, Sip and Paint is where you pay this company and they provide the easel, the paints and the wine, and you sip while you paint. Our one was at the community centre and it was $100 a head, and you bring your own wine, and the subject was a bowl of fruit. And I should mention at this point that I'm currently on antibiotics for a rash. I think I got it from the bath bomb, and I remembered about it approximately the 5th glass in. So I don't remember much of the experience, to be honest. I just remember broad strokes. and there was a lot of movement involved and an out-of-body experience. And I remember at one point using 3 colours simultaneously, which I can't fully explain technically, but it just felt right once I was in that flow state. Des picked us up about 9:30, but the woman who ran Sip and Paint, her name is Michelle, and Michelle rang me on Friday morning and said, "Corlette, I hope you don't mind, but I took a photo of your painting last night before you left, and I sent it to a friend of mine who runs the Tweed Regional Gallery, and she would like to display it." So the painting is now up on display at the gallery. It's called Fruit Bowl Day 9. And listen to the description they put underneath it. Simmons's work is a bold exploration of organic form in various states of transition. The layered impasto technique evokes the inherent beauty of decomposition, a meditation on the ephemeral nature of ripeness, the vulnerability of flesh, and the inevitable surrender to entropy. The palette, bruised purples, collapsing yellows and soft browns, speaks to the artist's intimate relationship with the natural cycle of decay. Sounds very posh, doesn't it? And that was the week that was. Now it's time for What Would Corlette Do? So this week we've got a letter in from Dorothy, and she's 72 from Tasmania. Corlette, I've started talking to my houseplants and I think it's working. My daughter says I've lost the plot. Who's right? Dorothy, you are right. Your daughter is wrong. And I'm going to give you some advice that goes further than talking. When you water your plants, you need to take your clothes off. Now stay with me. Plants originate in nature, and in nature there are no clothes. When you water your plants fully clothed, you are, on some level, reminding them they are inside a house in Tasmania and not in the natural habitat. But when you water them with nothing on, you are signaling to them through pure energy and intention that they are back in the wild. This is a safe space, that nature is present. Now, if you're doing this during the day, you may wish to close the blinds first, but keep talking to them as well. The talking and the nudity work together. Think of it as a complete wellness system for the plant. So I hope that helps, Dorothy. So if anyone else has any questions for What Would Corlette Do, please write into coupawithcorlette@gmail.com. So now it's time for Spin It with Corlette. All right, let's give the wheel a spin. And today's category is Corlette times something. Okay, all right, so with this, I have to time myself doing a household task on air and compare it to how long I thought it would take. So this week is the doona cover, trying to put the doona cover on. So I estimate it's going to take about 4 minutes, maybe 4.5 if the corners are difficult, 5 at the absolute most, okay? So I'll start the kitchen timer now. Right. I'm turning the cover inside out first. No, my arms are in. It's not. The corner's not. I've got one corner. I've got one corner and the other one's somewhere there in the middle. But it's all right. Fine. We're still within the 4 minutes window, which is good. I'm just going to, there's a situation developing in the corner here. I just don't know. The doona's gone sideways. That's the problem, see? Okay, I'm physically inside the doona now. Right. I can see it. Right, I can see the light. I can see the light. There's the corner. I've got the corner. Right. Okay, I think we've got it. The cover's on. Yes, the cover's on. And the timer says 6 minutes and 40 seconds, which is 1 minute and 40 seconds longer than my outside estimate. So that actually took a bit longer than I thought. But there you go. Now it's time for let Gavin decide. Now, for those who are new, Gavin is Des's mongrel, right? And here's how it works. I've got 2 bowls, same amount of food, 1 piece of paper under each bowl with an option written on it. Whichever bowl Gavin eats first, here's what we're doing. It's binding. There's no appeals, no renegotiating. So under option 1 tonight, we've got put on my Deep Forest CD with a glass of rosé out on the deck and read Angela Zash's book. Option 2, high intensity interval training workout using tires as resistance. Right, Gavin. Okay, let's go. Okay, right. Gavin's coming down the hallway. He's looking at the bowls. Oh, he's sniffing the right one. And the left one. Oh, he's gone back to the left. And he's gone back. He's gone to the right. He's gone to the right this time. Oh, thank goodness. Deep Forest it is. Gavin has spoken, and I respect the process. So I'll do that once I've finished recording this session. So that's good. Something to look forward to. Now it's time for our last segment, Corlette's Tingly Bits. I hope you enjoyed today's ASMR session and you feel better for it. So now that's it for today's episode. So please leave a review or write to me at cuppawithcorlette@gmail.com. And until next time, bye for now and take care. Des, did you knock over my bamboo air diffuser? Yeah, I'm just setting up the city for her on the deck. Is Phil going to help you with the staircase? I feel like some cheese.